for anybody in our family who is wanting to start to see things differently, whether they're building a business, Navi, or leading teams, or just raising their families, what's one shift in thinking do you think uh, exists that can open new possibilities for them?
I think people
And
could.
you're welcome for that question because I know you want to
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, sure. I guess because I would answer this way is that, I people always say, how come that you're always optimistic, and how you always have this kind of very not rosy, but looking at the future with, very kind of positive outlook. And that's what I would share as a kind of tip for people, is that today everything seems so depressive, and it may be because one of the things I keep telling everyone that I meet is that you need to learn to see the glass half full, because yes, the glass is half empty, and I think that the mainstream media tends to make us believe that the glass is half empty, and it is, right? As I said, there are a lot of things that are not going well in the world, but if you over focus on that, you can become very depressed. So that means that it takes more efforts, and I think maybe listening to your podcast would be one way to do that. Is we need to go to these sources where we can rejuvenate ourselves, where we can rekindle our optimism and our faith in humanity. And there are great media sources like your podcast. I have also my own kind of list of places where I go. So I would recommend your audience to replenish themselves, at the soul level, and because if you're really being, concentrated on the mainstream media content, it may seem like we are living the apocalypse. It's kind of apocalyptic times right now. It's not true, and that's really what I want to reassure audience, is that there are amazing things happening in the world that are not being reported or amplified. So people like you and me, Janice, we have a role to amplify, these good things happening in the world, and then showcase the innovators who are really genuinely, trying to uplift humanity. And that's what I would recommend is, don't look at the glass being half empty, but try to find that glass which is half full.
It's so good you're saying that, and it's you're taking me back to Tarboro, North Carolina. 60 plus 70 years ago, listening to Mama telling us, and she would say things like, "One person's trash is another person's treasure." It's not what you don't have; it's what you work with, what you've got, and those kinds of things. And so it's refreshing. It's also as though you were listening in on my whole life when you talked about replenishing the soul. Just yesterday, we had an executive meeting, virtual meeting, and my teams are so accustomed, Navi, to me telling them to focus on leadership in leadership roles and know the difference between management and leadership. In my company, we press forward that you manage processes and you lead people. And when you get busy trying to manage people, you're basically robbing people of their ability and their desire to express innovation. And so that's a whole nother conversation we can have. But the point I'm making is that I was encouraging them that I'm going to step you back a little bit. And I am going to tell you one area I want you to focus on management, and that's the management of your own processes that allow you to live the lives that you deserve on a personal level. And I'm speaking to you about your souls. And you could see the faces. Because we were all on screen. You could see the faces when I said that. And it was such a welcome conversation. We've worked, most of us, for more than 20 years together. And to just open this concept of let's pause. You talked about pausing for a baguette, and I used that word with them. Let's pause, team. And let's make sure we're taking care of ourselves, our families, our communities, and each other. We're all rushing around a lot of different things we're doing with AI in our company, and we've always used AI. I mean, it's not a new concept, it's not a new thing. It's been around since early mid-century, but people, are treating it as new because they're feeling the impact of it. And then, as you said, media is hyping it up. The hype of media that can influence people, and so it's so interesting to hear you bring these thoughts forward in such an elegant and pointed way that have been occurring even in the last few hours, not just few days in my own personal life. So I'm pausing to thank you for the gift of that to me, even inside of the gift it is to our family.